Hello and welcome back to the Consistory of the Coelc YouTube channel. I'm your host for this video, Reverend Zabel of St John's Evangelical Lutheran Church, located in Dalby, Queensland, Australia. And today we're going to be looking at the heresy of adoptionism. So what is the heresy of adoptionism? Well, adoptionism was a view that was attributed to Paul of Samosata. In our previous video on a brief introduction to heresies, we discussed the Samosatine heresy, which was the heresy promoted by Paul of Samosata, who was a 2nd century heretic who was a Unitarian who believed in one God, one person, and he believed that essentially God was like a giant man, essentially, and that God the Father is the man, God the Son is his voice, and God the Holy Spirit is just his soul or spirit. And Paul Samosatine then had another heresy which was given the term adoptionism, and this has to do with the incarnation of Jesus. Because as Trinitarians, we believe that Jesus Christ was incarnate. Even Arius believed that Jesus was fully God and fully man. He just didn't believe that, well, not fully God. Arius believed that Jesus was fully man and fully spiritual, but that spiritual divine-like being was not actually God, it was just God-like. All the other Trinitarian, Unitarian heretics all do believe that Jesus had this divine nature and this human nature. And so even the modalists believe in the incarnation, that the divine nature was incarnate in the human flesh. Even the partialists would say that the part of God, which is God the Son, that took on human flesh in the incarnation. That is not what Paul of Samosata taught. He taught that the divine Logos, God the Son, is the voice of God. But he did not teach that the voice was incarnate in the Son. He doesn't actually even believe in this divine incarnation at all. Adoptionism is the belief that God's spirit or soul and his power and essence came and rested upon the human Jesus. So Jesus was just an ordinary human, but that he was endowed with this divine power at his baptism. He was adopted into the divinity. So adoptionism teaches that there is this human man, Jesus, who then adopts the divine power of God in the baptism. That the divine power is kind of bestowed on this ordinary human man. That is the heresy of adoptionism. Now, I could go into much more detail on this, but again, this is meant to be a brief introduction to the heresy. So I've been your host, Reverend Zabel. Goodbye, and God bless.